welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to share with you a review of the new Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I'm also going to be comparing it to the original Too Faced Born This Way Concealer. So if you guys want to know all my thoughts about the new concealer and how it wears and how it looks compared to the original formula, then just keep on watching. The new Too Faced Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer has a really long name, and it's going to be available on 6/26 on toofaced.com. Usually it's available at Sephora and Ulta like a week or two later. I haven't seen a release date for that, but it's usually like within that same couple weeks that it's going to be available. It's going to be $29, and this is actually like a really big product. You get 0.5 of an ounce, so half an ounce of product in this concealer. It's a really big tube, so comparing it to the original concealer, you get way more product. This one is $28, and this one only has 0.23, so you actually get double for $1 more in this one. I just realized that. But this one comes with 20 shades. This one comes with 16 shades for reference. And this is kind of like a similar concept to the original Born This Way concealer because it's still like very hydrating and lightweight, but it is also a full coverage concealer. And then for a full coverage concealer, it also claims to be very hydrating, which is something I always look for in a concealer. So that's something that made me really, really excited about this concealer. I do love the original Born This Way concealer, but it is definitely more of a lightweight coverage, and I'll show you guys in the application how they're a little bit different. But I'm gonna go ahead and insert all of the swatches. There are 20 shades, starting out with the first 5 light shades, starting with Swan through Porcelain. Next, moving into the light to medium shades. I'm right in the middle of the light medium shades. I like to use the shade Golden Beige and Light Beige. And then moving into the more medium to tan shades, Sand to the shade Mocha. And then the final 5 deep shades are Maple to the shade Cocoa being the deepest shade. So those are all of the shades in the concealer. I'm gonna move into the demo so you guys can see how I use the multi-use sculpting concealer on my face today, and also how it compares to the original Born This Way concealer. All right, so for my foundation, I just applied the Cover FX Power Play foundation. I just applied it like 1 minute ago, so it's still tacky on my face. And then I'm gonna use the Born This Way Natural Radiant Concealer on one side, and then the multi-use sculpting concealer on the other side. I also have 2 clean beauty blenders, one for each eye, so I don't like mix up the formulas with my beauty blenders. So on this side, I'm gonna do the original concealer, and this shade is actually very light. It's like 1 or 2 shades too light for me, so my makeup might look a little bit different under my eyes, but just so you guys get an idea. Oh yeah, that is very light. Just so you guys get an idea with the coverage. And then on the other side, I'm gonna apply the multi-use concealer. This shade that I'm using is Light Beige. This is the one I think I like the most. I also can use the shade Golden Beige. That one's a little bit more warm. Let me go ahead and blend out the natural radiant side. And usually with this concealer, I'll use a color corrector underneath. Once I blend it out, it doesn't look like as dramatically light. But I'll usually use a color corrector underneath because you could still see a little bit of darkness peeking through. Going in with my second beauty blender to buff out the multi-use concealer side. This one, the coverage is just so good. And even though I applied like a decent amount, it doesn't cake up. I probably applied like maybe 1 or 2 little stripes more than I should because it is more full coverage. I'm definitely more used to lightweight concealers, but just the finish of this one is really, really nice. Looks so glowy and pretty. And then I'm just gonna go back into each concealer to prime my eyes. And I really like using this for primer. And let me show you guys the wand difference from each concealer. The original one is definitely way smaller compared to the new one. Let me grab my Tarte Shape Tape too so I can show you guys a comparison of that. All right, so here is the Tarte Shape Tape wand. This one from Tarte is way bigger than the multi-use concealer. It's just like a lot wider, so I definitely prefer the multi-use concealer wand because it's not as thick, so you can actually like get under your eyes, and it's not like you can be a lot more precise with it compared to the Shape Tape wand. But it's definitely bigger for sure, like double the size of the original wand. And the Naturally Radiant Concealer under my eyes definitely gives more of a sheer coverage. But the multi-use concealer gives me more of a eyeshadow primer, like full coverage look under my eyes. And it also starts to get a little bit more matte quicker than the other side. Let me go ahead and set both of my eyes. I'm gonna use the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. This is like one of my holy grail powders. And then I still want to apply concealer down the center of my face. I'm actually just gonna go in with the multi-use concealer. I'm just gonna add a little bit down the center of my face. I do have a couple breakouts right in the center of my forehead. And now let's just kind of go over all the normal spots. I don't always do a lot of concealer in the center of my face, but for the sake of a concealer video, let's do it. And then the applicator for this gets so messy, it's so big. You can like clean off the product, so it's not like a ton of concealer is gonna come out at once. There's a stopper in there, but it does get messy. So yeah, there's that. It doesn't like really ruin my life, but just a little side note about that. And then blend that out. That blends out so easily, and it doesn't like move around regardless of like what face products I've been using. And that is so awesome on my nose. If you struggle with like keeping concealer on your nose, this is the answer, honestly, because every day that I've applied this and put it on my nose, it looks really, really good. I was wearing this in my ColourPop review and I didn't put any on my nose, and my nose looked like a hot mess at the end of the day. But every other day, just like one stripe down my nose makes a huge difference. But just taking a look at the two sides of concealer, so the Naturally Radiant Concealer is on this side and then the multi-use is on this side. Let me know if you guys can see a little bit of a difference coverage wise. I am a little bit upset that this is like 1 or 2 shades lighter, so it's not like a true match color wise, but definitely like you can still tell that this is a lot more coverage with the multi-use concealer compared to the Naturally Radiant Concealer. All right, so here is the final look with both concealers. It actually doesn't look dramatically different on each eye. This is the multi-use concealer side. This is the Born This Way side. I can definitely tell that the multi-use side has a bit more coverage. I actually really like the look of both of them. I still think this shade is just like one shade too light for me, but I still really love this concealer. But definitely this one looks like more of a flawless coverage. I could still see a little bit of darkness peeking through with the original Born This Way side. So those are the coverage and the finish of both. I think the finish still looks really nice with like all the rest of my makeup too. I've been wearing this this is the 4th day that I'm wearing this. I like it every single time. I'm really happy with the concealer. It gives you really, really nice coverage. It stays put all day. It just doesn't crease up, and it doesn't look like too makeup-y or like fake under my eyes. It doesn't look like I went in with a lot of product. So that's what I really, really like about it. I don't have any complaints about the concealer. And I would say that this concealer would probably work with most skin types. I have more normal to dry skin, but I usually avoid very matte, full coverage concealers because they can look just too heavy under my eyes, and this does not look like that. Like I feel like I really don't like that look of like cakey heavy makeup under my eyes, probably more than most people. So I really like the finish of it. If you do have drier skin, I think you would still like it. But if you have oily skin, it gives you a matte finish. It doesn't move around. It doesn't crease up throughout the day at all. So I've been really, really enjoying it. And even applying it on the center of my face, I really, really like the finish of it. It stays in place, which is awesome. So I'm definitely gonna continue to wear this concealer. I really like it. I love the application of it. I like that it has a little bit bigger of a wand, but it's still pretty precise. And it's been really nice as an eyeshadow primer for the past couple of days too. And just comparing it to the formula of the Tarte Shape Tape, I actually don't wear the Shape Tape like very often. I have a shade that's pretty light, and also it's just a little too heavy for me. So I would say that the coverage is the same, but the formula is different. The Shape Tape I find to be a little bit more like of a moussey finish, and this one's just more creamy. It's a little more satin and easy to blend out compared to the Shape Tape. I feel like the Shape Tape, it dries like a lot more quickly than the new multi-use concealer. Okay, so those are all my thoughts on the new Too Faced multi-use sculpting concealer. I was super excited for this launch. I was completely shocked that I got the whole package of all of these shades because I was totally gonna buy this the day that it was released. I talked about this in a new makeup releases video like 2 months ago. You guys know I really like the Born This Way line, like the powder and the concealer especially, so I was excited about this one. I haven't found anything wrong with the concealer. I've been really happy using it, and I'm super picky with concealers, so that's definitely saying something. So let me know if you guys plan on picking this up or trying it out, or just let me know your favorite concealer in the comments down below. And if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you guys soon in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.